Hello, this is a quick video just to show you how to draw graphs on your calculator. So we're just going to focus on the parabola, which is the graph of a quadratic equation. So in your home screen, you can go to graph, or you can go to this document here. So this is the scratch pad. This is actually opening it as a document. I prefer just to do that because you can see up here, you can add new ones. So if I go to here and then have a calculator, so you can transfer between the two if you need to. All right, so as I said in class the other day, f1x is basically replacing y. So if we were to write an equation in here, we don't go ahead and write y equals because we're basically telling the calculator that we want to do y equals because f1x is the same as y. The reason it's F is because when we head into, I suppose, higher maths, we call them functions. So F stands for function, and 1 just means it's the first function. And X is the variable that we're using. In maths, we can use all different letters to represent our variables. So the two main ones are X and Y. We're using F here to represent the function, X to represent the independent variable, but let's say we were doing something with speed and distance and time, you could have dt, so d and then your variable t, which is time. Okay, but anyway, that's just getting off track. I just wanted to show you today how to find the features on your calculator. So let's type in a quadratic. Whoops. I'm just going to be doing one randomly. It's probably not wise. Let's do myself. See what we get when we do that. Okay, so there's a quadratic there. And if you had to read off any values from your calculator, it's quite difficult because even though the scale here is 1, I can see that the graph's not really going through 1 or -1. And it's not really going through +3 here. The y-intercept is -4, and I can read that from the graph, but let's have a look at how you can actually find your x-intercepts and your turning point. So let's just go to menu, analyze graph. Okay, so we want a minimum. Remember, I keep going to point at the screen. Okay, so you see here how we're down the bottom. Okay, so that's a minimum. We'll do a maximum one in a sec. So your lower bound, see how it says lower bound here? You just have to do it to the left of the turning point. So your lower bound is basically saying, well, what's the lowest x value it can take? So we just want to spread it over, and you can see how it highlights it, which is absolutely fantastic. There's your turning point there, 1, -5. All right, let's find now the x-intercepts. So we just go to 0, and there's the first one. And let's do the other one, analyze graph, 0, and there they are. Okay, so we've got -1.24 and 3.24 as your x-intercepts and 1, -5 as your y-intercepts. Now with your equation here, if you wanted to change that, you just go tab to get it back up. So tab and then arrow up will bring it back up. But I'm going to show you another way that you can find your x-intercept. So on your calculator, you can actually highlight anything and cut and paste it just like you normally would on a keyboard. So see the shift button, just like you would highlight something on a computer keyboard, you do the same with a calculator. So I've highlighted it. I'm going to press Control C. So Control C, hopefully you all know, is copy. And go into my calculator screen. And Control V will paste it. Okay, so there it is there. And it's going to let it be y equals. Now, if you want to find your x-intercepts, you can also do solve. So, solve should have. It doesn't really matter if I have lowercase or uppercase. Okay, so you can do solve, type your equation in, comma x, but remember when we're doing the x-intercepts, we want y to be 0. So you can do 0 there, or you can do 0 at the end. So you can just go control equal. So look at the left-hand side of the screen, given that y is equal to 0. And that is the, oh, hold on, why have you given it to me in terms of y? Let's just check. Oh, hold on. Right, sorry, just had to pause there to actually realize what I was doing. This is where, as maths teachers, you have to kind of remember how to do things. Okay, so I'll just show you what I did initially. See how I've got the given that y equals 0 inside the brackets, it actually goes outside your brackets, and then it'll work for you. So just to remind you what I did, you can type it in like that, and change the y to be 0. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so there's your solution in exact form. To get it in approximate, just press Control Enter. Okay, and there you can see you've got your approximate or your decimal answers. And we know from the graph that it was -1.24 and 3.24. Or if we do what we did up here, you can type your equation you've got given that y equals 0, and you'll get the same answer. With this one here, you can let y equal all different things. So I can say, well, I want you to let y equal 2, or you can say, well, I want you to let x equal 5. Okay, so you can use that form for a variety of different things. So you've got your equation, and you can substitute in x or y depending on what you actually need to do. So when you're finished watching this video, make sure you're actually writing notes, especially with this, because it might not be something that you'll use this year, but it's something that you'll definitely use if you go on to do methods in VCE. All right, going back to our equation, let's do a -1. To turn this into a negative, all I need to do is put a negative in front of the x squared, and it's going to flip it around. So you can see it just there. Now, with this one, let me just move this out of the way. I can see it's y-intercept, but it's got no x-intercept. So remember, your parabolas don't always have to have x-intercepts. Okay, and the reason why I wanted to show you an upside down one is because we now go for the maximum. So it's when it's up the top, your turning point is up the top, it's a maximum, and there it is, -1, -3. I think that's all I need to show you for now. Just do keep in mind the copy and the paste, because you might have something on your calculator screen that you want to then go on to graph, or vice versa. Another thing, just remember your tab to go back to your equations. It's not working. Okay, and then you can go up and delete it, or you can put another one in. So let's just put in x squared. Okay, so you can put a bunch of them in. You can also have equations that cross. So let's just do y equals x, and you can see there that this line is crossing. So just another feature that you might not see for a while. So the intersection, see how it's asking for graphs? I got 3. I just wanted to do the black and the red, and then again we just tell it where we want the intersection. So those two graphs cross at 1, 1. I'm just showing you that now because it's just good to explore your calculator and to see what features it does have, but you won't be using this for a while. Okay.